One day, there was a tiny ant. He was scurrying around hungry and looking for food. The little ant ate a fungus that he thought was food, but this was no ordinary fungus. What the tiny ant didn't know was that this was a dangerous fungus, one that would take over the ant's brain. The fungus ate his brain and made him decompose himself. He lay on the ground, immobilized and helpless. Later, a snake named Ophio came by and ate the ant, so he got the disease. It made him think that he was an ant. While trying to climb a tree over a river while looking for raspberries, he fell into the rushing river below him. He got caught up in the current and was swept into the ocean, where a tuna called Sashita ate him. After a few days of being weakened by the disease that it caught from the snake, an unsuspecting fisherman, Sato Yoshito, caught the tuna. Sato came from an upper middle class in Japan, so he did not need to fish, he just enjoyed it. Sato Yoshito had made a bet with his brother, Yoshimo Yoshito, that he would catch a record-breaking fish, tuna, so this was huge news. When Yoshimo received a package from his brother, he did not expect it to be a tuna, as his brother had promised he would catch one well over 10 years ago. Yoshimo was so excited that he cooked up the tuna and shared with his whole family, so they could all share his brother's first big tuna in almost 2 years. What the family did not know was that the tuna had a dangerous disease inside that they would all catch because they were not paying attention to how it was not fully cooked, meaning the disease was not cooked. Therefore, it was not dead. Within a few days, they had all gone crazy and walked into the forest to decompose, but not before infecting at least 10 other people, so it spread to more people and more people until the entire village was dead. One day, Sato Yoshito came back to visit his family. When he entered the house, he saw writing all over the walls and drawings of his face and the tuna, and he realized that the tuna had sent them all and had caused the destruction. In horror, he went to the big city at the time called Yokohama, and he signed up for the war that was going at the time in 1222 so that he could maybe do some good with his life, and he became a lieutenant colonel in just a few years. While fighting in a war, he was looking through a town that had recently been invaded by the Mongolians, and he found a little boy who was the sole survivor of the battle. Sato adopted him and took care of him. He fed him and sheltered him, but before he moved out, Sato Yoshito went to an omikuji shop, which is where there's these pieces of paper where they tell your fortune, and his fortune told him to not let his son get into fishing, or he or his family or his city would get into great danger. He was so scared that he sprinted out of the shop. How did it know? He thought. It must be a coincidence. Is history going to repeat itself? When he got home, he found a note on the kitchen that read, "I'm going to look for a job. I'll be back soon." Oh no, he thought. There's a shipping boat leaving tomorrow. But that's tomorrow, so if he does look for that job, then I can just tell him tonight that he can't do it. But he did not come back that night. Sato left town because he could not bear hearing about what he would put that city through. Sato later went on to do seppuku, as it was the honorary thing to do if you had brought something bad on yourself. Therefore, since he was not alive anymore, then the story couldn't go through, right? Though it was unnecessary, however, because his son did not get his fishing job and came home the next night from his friend's house, at which he was sleeping. If you are wondering why I decided to name the snake Ophio, it's because it's based on a disease that I will not try to pronounce, but I'll throw on the screen right here. And it's basically the inspiration for the story because it takes over ants' brains and makes them decompose themselves.